أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله.
I will not eat until you abandon your new faith.
We must press on, regardless of my condition.
Imagine a world on the brink. Two empires, ancient and powerful, standing face to face, their destinies intertwined by a single colossal clash. On one side, the Sasanian Persian Empire, a civilization that had graced the earth for centuries, its banners flying high, its armies vast and formidable, boasting elephants of war that thundered across the plains, each a living fortress. Their wealth was legendary, their culture refined, their warriors steeped in a history of conquest. They were the undisputed giants of the East, a force believed by many to be unconquerable. On the other side, a nascent power, born from the deserts of Arabia, fueled by an unwavering faith, its warriors hardened by a new creed, their numbers seemingly dwarfed by the might of their adversary. How could a fledgling Islamic state, a community still finding its footing, dare to challenge such an entrenched, majestic empire? How could they hope to dismantle the very foundations of Sasanian power to rewrite the map of the known world? This isn't just a battle, it's a turning point in human history, a collision of titans that would echo through millennia, shaping civilizations and faiths for generations to come. This is the story of Al-Qadisiyyah, a battle not merely fought with swords and arrows, but with unyielding spirit, brilliant strategy, and an extraordinary leader whose name would be etched forever in the annals of Islamic heroism. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. His tale is one of unwavering faith, of courage forged in the crucible of divine trust, and of a victory that shattered an empire and illuminated the path for a new era. The very air around them crackled with anticipation, a tension so thick you could almost taste the metallic tang of impending conflict, the acrid scent of dust and destiny. The sheer audacity of the Muslim challenge must have seemed like madness to the Persians, a mere desert skirmishers daring to confront the grandeur of their imperial might. Yet, within the hearts of those Muslim warriors, fueled by the words of their prophet and the promise of a just cause, burned a conviction fiercer than any flame, a determination that would not yield. This was more than land. This was about dignity, about the right to worship freely, about carrying a message of truth to a world shrouded in ancient, often oppressive traditions. The stakes were not just regional dominance, they were cosmic. The fate of Islam, indeed, the future of vast swathes of humanity hung precariously in the balance, suspended over the vast, shimmering plains where these two civilizations would meet. It was a moment pregnant with destiny, a breathtaking prelude to a conflict that would redefine the boundaries of power and belief, etched forever into the memory of time. The desert winds, typically a whisper of nature, now seemed to howl with an ominous prophecy, carrying the scent of dust and the faint metallic tang of impending conflict, a symphony of fate playing out on the grand stage of history. And at the heart of this unfolding drama stood Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, not a towering figure in physical stature, but a giant in spirit and resolve. His journey to this pivotal command was itself a testament to his unique character and the trust placed in him. Sa'd was no stranger to the intensity of battle. He had fought alongside the Prophet Muhammad himself, a skilled archer whose arrows rarely missed their mark, earning him a revered place among the companions. He was also blessed with a prayer that, as the Prophet himself attested, was often answered, a spiritual power that underpinned his military prowess. But, leading the entire Muslim army against the might of Persia, this was a burden unlike any he had ever carried. Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab, the visionary leader of the nascent Islamic State, saw in Sa'd not just a warrior, but a man of profound faith, unwavering conviction, and keen strategic intellect. Yet, as the war drums began to beat, a cruel twist of fate struck Sa'd down with a debilitating illness. A severe bout of sciatica afflicted him, rendering him unable to ride a horse, even to sit upright comfortably. Imagine the internal torment. The commander of the Muslim army, tasked with leading them into the most significant battle of their young history, reduced to a prone position, racked with pain. Doubt, surely, must have gnawed at him. How could he inspire his troops, lead them into the jaws of a behemoth, when he himself was physically incapacitated? The psychological weight must have been immense. His vision blurred, his body aching. Sa'd still held meetings, issued commands, and strategized from his bed, or from a makeshift pulpit erected where he could oversee the battlefield. His presence, though physically limited, remained a beacon of hope and resolve. His voice, perhaps weaker from illness, still carried the weight of authority and the warmth of his unwavering faith. This was not a general leading from the front lines in the traditional sense, but a leader whose strength emanated from his spirit, from his profound connection to Allah, and from the absolute trust his men placed in him. This affliction wasn't a weakness. It was an extraordinary test, a divine trial that showcased the true depth of Sa'd's character, proving that leadership wasn't solely about physical might, but about the purity of intention, the strength of resolve, and the unwavering belief in a greater purpose. His condition, far from being a handicap, became a profound symbol of the spiritual nature of their struggle, reminding every warrior that victory ultimately rested not in their arms, but in the hands of God. Across the plains, the Persian army, under the command of the legendary General Rustam, was a spectacle of power and opulence. Their forces were colossal, numbering perhaps in the hundreds of thousands, a kaleidoscope of armored warriors, elite cavalry, and their terrifying war elephants, each animal adorned with protective gear, carrying towering howdahs filled with archers and javelin throwers. The sight alone was designed to instill terror, to shatter the morale of any opposing force. Their banners, emblazoned with the Daraft Kaviani, the legendary royal standard of Persia, fluttered proudly in the desert wind, a symbol of an ancient lineage and an unbroken legacy of dominance. But even amidst this overwhelming display of might, Rustam, a seasoned and intelligent commander, harbored a deep unease. He understood the fanatical zeal of the Muslim warriors, their willingness to embrace martyrdom, and their unwavering faith in their cause. He had heard tales of their victories, seemingly against all odds. He knew that this was not just another tribal skirmish. This was a clash of ideologies, a battle for the very soul of the land. Rustam, a man of wisdom and experience, sought to avoid direct confrontation if possible. He sent envoys to the Muslim camp, not merely to negotiate terms, but to gauge their resolve, to understand the depth of their belief. He offered wealth, land, anything to avert the bloody conflict he foresaw. His conversations with the Muslim envoys, particularly with the eloquent and fearless Rabi ibn Amir, were legendary. Rabi, a humble man dressed in simple attire, boldly declared the Muslim mission: to liberate humanity from the worship of creation and lead them to the worship of the Creator, to free them from the narrow confines of this world to the vastness of the hereafter, and from the oppression of false religions to the justice of Islam. These words, delivered with quiet conviction, deeply troubled Rustam. He recognized the sincerity, the profound truth in their message, and understood that these were not men motivated by earthly gain. He saw their spiritual strength, a power that even his vast armies might struggle to overcome. The thought gnawed at him. How do you fight an enemy who seeks death as ardently as they seek victory? His heart, heavy with the premonition of disaster, urged caution. He saw the inevitable, the seismic shift that was coming, but he was bound by duty to his emperor, to his people, and to the legacy of his empire. The dilemma was agonizing: to fight against a force he inwardly respected, a force that seemed guided by a higher power, or to surrender to the tide of history. The tension in the Persian camp was palpable, a mixture of arrogance and a creeping sense of dread. The air, thick with the scent of Persian incense and the metallic tang of polished armor, carried the unspoken fear of the unknown, of an enemy whose true strength lay not in their numbers but in the unshakable conviction of their hearts. The stage was set. For 4 agonizing, bloody days, the plains of Al-Qadisiyyah became a crucible of fire and steel, a testament to human endurance and courage. From his elevated position, Sa'd, though physically ailing, orchestrated the battle with precision, his commands relayed across the vast field, his eyes, though heavy, scanning every movement. Day 1. Yawm al-Armath, the Day of Disorder. The battle erupted with a ferocity that shook the earth. The Persian war elephants, deployed as living battering rams, charged forward, their immense bulk and terrifying roars threatening to break the Muslim lines. The Muslim horses, unaccustomed to these colossal beasts, shied and panicked, creating momentary chaos. The Muslim warriors, however, adapted swiftly. They targeted the elephants' trunks and eyes, and more daringly, the riders atop them, using their agility to overcome the beast's raw power. This day saw individual acts of extraordinary bravery, fierce duels, and a desperate struggle to hold ground against the overwhelming initial onslaught. The air was thick with dust, the clash of steel, and the cries of battle, a symphony of destruction echoing across the desert. Day 2. Yawm Agwath, the Day of Succor. Reinforcements arrived for the Muslim army from Syria, battle-hardened veterans led by the legendary Sa'd ibn Amr at-Tamimi. Their arrival, heralded by their disciplined advance and synchronized movements, provided a much-needed morale boost. Sa'd immediately demonstrated his tactical brilliance, dividing his men into small groups and sending them into battle in staggered waves, creating the illusion of endless reinforcements. This psychological warfare took a heavy toll on the Persian morale, as they believed the Muslim forces were inexhaustible. On this day, the Muslim tactics against the elephants also evolved, focusing on severing their Achilles tendons, rendering them immobile and causing them to turn back in panic, trampling their own ranks. The battle intensified, with no clear victor emerging, only a relentless exchange of blows and a growing tally of fallen warriors on both sides. Day 3. Yawm al-Imas, the Day of Agony. This was the most brutal and prolonged day of fighting, a true test of wills. Casualties mounted significantly on both sides. The Muslim warriors, driven by their faith, fought with an almost superhuman resolve, enduring relentless attacks. The battle raged from dawn till dusk, with neither side yielding. The cries of Allahu Akbar from the Muslim ranks met the roars of the Persian warriors, creating a deafening cacophony. The intensity was such that warriors fought until exhaustion, only to be replaced by fresh waves. The ground became slick with blood, and the air was heavy with the smell of death and desperation. This day pushed both armies to their absolute limits, a testament to the raw, visceral nature of ancient warfare, where courage and conviction were often the only lines between victory and annihilation. Day 4. Yawm Al-Qadisiyyah, the Day of Victory, the Night of Howling. As night fell, the fighting surprisingly did not cease. This became known as Laylat al-Harir, the Night of Howling, or the Night of Rattle, due to the incessant clashing of swords and armor and the desperate cries of men. The Muslim army launched a daring night assault, throwing the Persian forces into disarray. The exhaustion of 3 days of continuous battle, coupled with the unexpected night attack, began to break the Persian spirit. As dawn approached, a massive sandstorm, a natural phenomenon often occurring in the desert, erupted. This was not just a meteorological event. It was seen by the Muslims as divine intervention. The sandstorm, blowing directly into the faces of the Persians, blinded them, choked their warriors, and disoriented their elephants, turning their mighty war machines into panicked, uncontrollable beasts that rampaged through their own formations. Amidst this chaos, Sa'd ibn Amr spotted Rustam, who had taken refuge near a camel. Sa'd engaged him, and in the ensuing duel, Rustam was killed. His death, a devastating blow to Persian morale, spread like wildfire through their ranks. With their commander fallen, blinded by the sandstorm, and their formations broken, the mighty Sasanian army finally crumbled. The once invincible empire was shattered, its banners fallen, its power decisively broken. The Muslim victory was complete, a testament to their unwavering faith, strategic brilliance, and an incredible feat of endurance. While physically incapacitated, Sa'd's strategic genius shone brightest throughout the battle. His inability to personally lead from the front lines forced him to adopt an elevated, almost omniscient perspective, allowing him to perceive the entire battlefield with a clarity that might have been impossible from the thick of the fight. From his makeshift pulpit, he wasn't just observing, he was directing, adapting, and inspiring. Imagine the scene. Sa'd, propped up, his body racked with pain, yet his mind sharp, his eyes keenly observing the ebb and flow of the battle. He would issue commands, sending runners with instructions to various commanders, shifting troops, exploiting weaknesses, and shoring up vulnerable points. It was a remarkable display of remote command, a testament to his intellect and the discipline of his army. His most profound contribution lay in his psychological warfare and his ability to read the battlefield. When the elephants first caused panic, It was Sa'd who, after observing their effect, immediately devised the counter-strategy: target their eyes and trunks, and then cripple their legs. He recognized that fear of the unknown was a powerful weapon, and he consistently found ways to turn the enemy's perceived strengths into their weaknesses. The staggered arrival of Kaka's reinforcements, creating the illusion of an endless stream of Muslim warriors, was a brilliant stroke, likely orchestrated by Sa'd to amplify the psychological pressure on the already weary Persians. Furthermore, his presence, even from a distance, was a constant source of inspiration. His men knew he was with them, enduring the battle from his sickbed, praying for them and guiding them. This knowledge imbued them with a profound sense of purpose and the unwavering belief that their commander, despite his physical limitations, was wholly dedicated to their cause. His leadership wasn't about martial prowess on the field, but about intellectual superiority, moral authority, and the deep trust he had cultivated with his troops. He was the brain of the army, its unwavering spiritual compass, proving that true leadership transcends physical limitations and can manifest powerfully through intellect, faith, and strategic foresight. Sa'd's illness, far from being a handicap, forced him into a unique position of observation and control, transforming him into an unseen hand guiding the destiny of his army, his strategic brilliance shining through the pain and the dust of battle. It was a masterclass in command, demonstrating that true leadership emanates not just from physical presence but from the depth of intellect and unwavering spiritual conviction. The victory at Al-Qadisiyyah was not merely a military triumph, it was an event of seismic proportions, marking the definitive end of the Sasanian Persian Empire's dominance in the region and ushering in a new era. The death of Rustam, the Grand Vizier and commander, symbolized the decapitation of the Persian state, both literally and figuratively. His fall, combined with the catastrophic defeat of their main army, sent shockwaves through the entire empire. The political stability that had underpinned Sasanian rule for centuries crumbled rapidly. The young Sasanian emperor, Yazdegerd III, despite his efforts, could not stem the tide. The defeat at Al-Qadisiyyah effectively broke the back of the Persian military machine, rendering them incapable of mounting another significant organized defense against the relentless advance of the Muslim forces. The consequences were immediate and far-reaching. The vast territories of Persia, including its rich agricultural lands, its ancient cities, and its sophisticated infrastructure, began to fall under Muslim control. Ctesiphon, the magnificent Sasanian capital, a city of unparalleled wealth and grandeur, soon opened its gates to the Muslim army. Imagine the awe and wonder of these desert warriors as they entered a city of such splendor, a stark contrast to their humble origins. The wealth they discovered there, the intricate artworks, the vast libraries, and the legendary carpet of spring, a massive, jeweled rug depicting a garden, became symbolic of the riches of a fallen empire. More profoundly, the fall of Persia opened the way for the spread of Islam throughout the region. The religion of Zoroastrianism, once the state religion of the Sasanian Empire, gradually gave way to Islam. The Persian people, known for their rich culture and intellectual pursuits, embraced the new faith, contributing immensely to the blossoming of Islamic civilization. Al-Qadisiyyah wasn't just a battle. It was a societal metamorphosis, a cultural assimilation that would birth a new chapter in human history. The legacy of Persia, its art, science, and literature, was not extinguished, but rather absorbed and enriched within the framework of Islam, leading to a golden age of intellectual and artistic flourishing that would influence the world for centuries to come. The fall of an empire, paradoxically, became the fertile ground for the rise of a new civilization, proving that sometimes destruction is merely the precursor to a grander creation. The story of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas and the Battle of Al-Qadisiyyah is far more than a historical account of military victory. It is a profound narrative rich with timeless lessons for us today. What truly set Sa'd apart, and indeed the entire Muslim army, was their unwavering conviction in their cause. They were not fighting for mere territorial gain or personal glory. They believed they were fighting to establish justice, to bring people out of the darkness of ignorance and oppression into the light of divine guidance. This profound sense of purpose, this deep-seated belief in the righteousness of their mission, fueled their courage and sustained them through unimaginable hardships. It reminds us that true strength often comes not from physical might, but from the unshakable foundation of conviction and a clear understanding of one's purpose. Sa'd's leadership, especially while facing his own physical suffering, teaches us about resilience and the multifaceted nature of command. He demonstrated that true leadership is not always about being at the forefront of the charge, but about providing strategic vision, unwavering moral support, and inspiring confidence even from a distance. His ability to adapt, to innovate, and to maintain control under extreme pressure offers invaluable lessons in crisis management and strategic thinking. It tells us that challenges, even debilitating ones, can sometimes force us to discover new dimensions of our capabilities and lead us to unexpected forms of leadership. The battle itself, particularly the Night of Howling and the intervention of the sandstorm, speaks to the power of perseverance and the belief in divine assistance. Even when human efforts seem to reach their limits, faith can provide the extra strength, the unexpected turning point. It's a powerful reminder that while we must strive our utmost, ultimately, outcomes are in the hands of a higher power. The aftermath of Al-Qadisiyyah, the integration of Persian culture into the Islamic world, highlights the transformative power of a just and inclusive system. It shows that conquest, when tempered with justice and respect, can lead to cultural enrichment and mutual growth, rather than mere subjugation. The legacy of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, therefore, transcends the battlefield. It is a legacy of faith, resilience, strategic brilliance, and the profound impact of conviction on the course of human history. His story is a beacon for all who seek to stand firm in their beliefs, to lead with wisdom, and to strive for a purpose greater than themselves, reminding us that even the most formidable challenges can be overcome with unwavering faith and unyielding spirit. This tale resonates across the centuries, whispering lessons of courage, conviction, and the enduring power of a cause greater than any individual, illuminating the path for those who dare to dream of a more just world. So, what does the thunderous echo of Al-Qadisiyyah, the unwavering resolve of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and the dramatic fall of an empire mean for us, here and now, in our modern world? It's a call to reflect on our own convictions. Do we have a purpose as profound, a belief as unwavering, as those warriors who stood against the might of Persia? Are we prepared to face our own elephants of war, the challenges, the doubts, the fears that loom large in our lives, with the same strategic thinking and spiritual fortitude? This epic tale isn't just a historical event to be admired from afar. It's a living, breathing lesson. It compels us to cultivate resilience, just as Sa'd did from his sickbed, leading an army while battling his own affliction. It urges us to embrace strategic thinking, not just in grand battles, but in the daily skirmishes of life, in our careers, our relationships, and our personal growth. Most importantly, it reminds us of the power of community, of working together with a shared vision, and of the incredible strength that can be found in unity under a just cause. The spirit of Al-Qadisiyyah, that blend of unwavering faith, calculated courage, and an unshakable belief in a divine purpose, is not confined to the pages of history. It lives within each of us, waiting to be ignited. It calls us to look beyond immediate obstacles, to see the bigger picture, and to act with integrity and conviction. If this story has ignited a spark within you, if it has deepened your appreciation for the rich tapestry of Islamic history and the incredible lives of those who shaped it, then I urge you to delve deeper, explore the lives of these heroes, understand the context of their struggles, and draw inspiration from their triumphs. Share this story, discuss its lessons, and let the legacy of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas and the victory of Al-Qadisiyyah inspire you to face your own challenges with courage, conviction, and an unwavering spirit. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to forge character, every obstacle a chance to prove the depth of your resolve. Let their courage be your guide, their faith your strength, and their victory a testament to what can be achieved when purpose and piety align. The echoes of Al-Qadisiyyah continue to resonate, reminding us that with God's help, even the most daunting giants can be overcome.